Josh, so what is it like? PFL playoffs. You're in here again, Impa again, but this time it's here at Hard Rock Live right in South Florida. So just what are your thoughts, American top team, and you getting this rematch, so to speak, and improving on that?
Yeah, you know, this is my third playoff, and I've been here before many times. I feel like I'm kind of, you know, one of those. I went from like new to the PFL. Now I see the new guys coming in. I'm like, yeah, this is a tough season. But yeah, I try to put the fighting at home, rematch. I try to put, it's so hard not to put it aside because it's always in my mind, but I try to put it aside so I could really stay focused for this fight. Obviously, like you said, this is a rematch. This means a lot to me, but whether it was Impa or whoever, it would have meant a lot to me anyways, you know. But I guess it does feel good to I guess, you know, we go back to that chapter in last November, and I guess we get to rewrite some things a little bit. You know, obviously that fight was that fight. This is a whole new fight, but I'm just happy to be fighting at home in front of friends and family, and being in the playoffs again. You know, I'm 2 fights away from winning this thing.
Josh, you're always so mentally strong, and I'm just curious because you mentioned family and friends get to be there, ATT gets to be there more. What are your thoughts of that part of it, and just also not having that be a distraction too?
Yeah, you know, so like I said, I think there's a time and place to think about that stuff. Obviously, their friends are reaching out to me and family, and I want them to come. You know, I want the pressure to be on me. I want to be like, man, you know, I could hear my friends out there. Literally, could hear them. But I think at the end of the day, man, this is the fight game. You know, whether we travel to Salt Lake City or we go to Saudi Arabia or we fight here at home, I think you just have to learn how to separate that stuff and get the job done.
As you mentioned, this is your 3rd playoffs now. How have you grown from that first playoff till now?
Man, I've grown a lot, you know, and I think the biggest thing for me is I've learned how to be in the moment. You know, with the season, you think so much of the, like, what's gonna happen? What's the future, right? Like, what's gonna happen? And then when you go through like a loss that I went through, you think about the past a lot. You know, I don't want to lose tempo. I don't want to feel like that again. But I think you have to kind of just let those things work itself out and just be in the moment. And the biggest thing for me is fighting something I do. It's not my life. I have many other things I do, and I think I've learned that. It took me like 31 years to figure that out, especially coming from a fighting family, thinking like, oh, this is my destiny, this is my life. And I've come to realize that this is just part of the journey. I still have much more things, you know, God has for me, you know, to get done.
You mentioned part of the journey, and last one for me. I'm curious too. In talking to Impa today, he has so much respect for you and everything you're doing, and I'm just feeling the mutual respect that you guys have for each other and in your training and your fighting and your lives.
Yeah, man, Impa's he's an honorable guy, super respectful, super genuine, nice. But with all that being said, you know, I don't give a crap about him being nice and all that. When we get in there, I really want to get my hands on him, and I'm not gonna let him fool me with that nice stuff. You know, we're going to get in there and get after it, especially with the main event.
Thank you.
Josh, how you doing today? What's up? So, Josh, if you had to write a story and a book about this year, how would it end?
Man, it would end with me winning this title and making the million, right? But, you know, this rematch with Impa is something I think, in November, I wouldn't be able to think about this right now, you know, but now I think about what happened in November, and now we're here in the same position, kind of the same, right, semifinals, not the finals, and it's, that's when you kind of, when you're going through something and you realize maybe you don't have the answers now, but these answers will come a little bit later, and that's what I feel. I feel like this is an ongoing chapter of what happened last year. It's almost like God was like, yo, relax, you need to go through this, and you're going to be in this position here. And now we're here, you know, and my teammates fighting Rob Wilkinson, and of course I want Devlet to win. I would never go against ATT. But I would love to go beat Impa and get a rematch with Rob, beat 2 previous champs the past year and the year before. Man, that would really put my name in there. But of course I want Devlet to win. But in my mind, I'm ready to either fight Devler or I'll be more than happy to fight Robin again, for
Right,
sure.
right. And you're 2 fights away
2 fights.
from $1 million.
Yeah.
So taking back, like you said, in November when you lost,
Yeah.
what have you done differently for this fight coming up?
What I've done differently, man, like I said, be more in the moment. Enjoy the bad days, enjoy the good days. Understand that fight night is a specific day that they gave us. Camp is hard. I train at the best gym in the world. You're not gonna have the best days. Take it day by day, and really embrace the moment, man. You know, I train with tough guys. They push me, but sometimes with the season, you tend to feel bad for yourself and stuff like that. You know, this is part of it. This is what I signed up for. So I'm just happy that I get to compete, especially in the time right now. You only got the UFC and you got PFL. So only 2 big organizations now. You know, and I still got a job. I'm still working. About to be 32 years old. Just in the moment, be grateful, appreciate what's around me. I think last year, that was a moment that needed to happen. You know, and unfortunately, sometimes the last ingredient to become great is taking a loss and not just losing, kind of getting beat up in front of the world. You know, and Impa did his thing. And now I gotta go return that pain he put on me and give it back to him.
I wish you luck.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Josh, obviously we got to speak to Impa earlier today. You keep alluding to these rematches, and he did the same. And I asked him this question. I want to ask you as well. What are your thoughts on being in an organization where rematches are not only common but pretty much inevitable? And is that something you like? Is that something you don't like? Is that something you would change?
I want, you know, that's a good question. I think the PFL format, sometimes you could feel, depends on the situation, you know. When I fought with Rob, sometimes I feel like they were trying to put 2 guys with 6 points against each other. So they're trying to, you know, they're trying to create a little bit of drama. You know what I mean? And there's 2 ways to look at things sometimes. The organization's against me, or you take it in with open arms, you know. I'm gonna fight a guy who beat me 5 rounds, you know, unanimous decision. He beat me well. And I'm taking it with open arms. You know, this is what we signed up for, and as much as it's a rematch, as much as we're gonna go after it again, this is a whole new season, and I'm a whole new, I wanna say a whole new different guy, but I've made my adjustments, and I know for a fact Impa fought in November was just, you know, that's what happens sometimes. It sucks. You know, you come into the gym and you have bad days, you have good days. You don't want to have that bad day when the competition counts. But that's what happened. I just had a bad day, and the lesson was hard. And I'm excited to fight him again, that's for sure. And the PFL could do this over and over again, and I'll enjoy it.
You also spoke about the possibility of having to fight your teammate, Devlet. Do you feel like that is something that will be more difficult for you, or are you able to just kind of put the camaraderie aside and compete?
Yeah, so my first loss, I had to fight Omari 2 years ago, which was a part of American Top Team, and that was a good lesson I learned. I learned that, you know, we're teammates. This is the benefit, and I guess the cons about being in an American Top Team. You're gonna fight good guys, guys from your team, and I learned with Omari that, you know, I'll give you a hug after, we'll talk and have a beer or whatever the case is, but I'm never gonna fight my teammates the way that I did with Omari. I'm gonna get after it. It's part of my job. It's an individual sport. As much as it's a team sport, it's individual again. And then Devlet and I know. I love Devlet to death, you know. If that's what it comes down to, that's what it comes down to, you know. And whoever wins will take the other one out on a vacation or something like that.
Split the million?
Maybe split the million. I don't know what I should say that, but
Thanks, Josh.
yeah.
Josh, you mentioned this earlier, having your friends and family here. How much does that benefit you heading into a rematch like this?
Man, I love the friends and family because this is going to be the 3rd time I fought in Florida from my whole career. I don't get to fight here much. A lot of fighters will tell you like they like traveling, they like to keep the business separate, and it is beneficial there too. But man, this is a moment right now where I get a main event I get to fight at the Hard Rock. I got my friends and family. I don't know what's gonna happen. All I know is I'm gonna fight my ass off, and I know this is gonna be an amazing memory for us to talk about when I become an old man. You know, when me and my friends were like, you know, remember when you all gave us heart attacks at the Hard Rock, trying to, you know, screaming your name and whatever the case is, you know, or, you know, you won that fight and then we went to go play blackjack or whatever the case is. It's going to create this memory of just, you know, of life, man. It's a good life memory with friends and family, and they get to see, especially the people that's been with me for a long time, they get to see me grow into this dream, and now it's in my reality, you know, where my friends, they're not going to travel with me around the country all the time, but this is a perfect time for us to really be together and just go watch your boy do his thing, you know?